Welcome back to Anime Tokyo Podcast. Today's program will be on 5 of Aiyumi and her Otome games. Yay! I'm your host Aiyumi and today I'm with my co-host Neru.
Hi! So, what are we talking about in this program?
We'll be talking about one of my favorite Otome games, Color X Malice.
Interesting. Okay, so what is it about?
Well, according to these games, the summary goes like this. A dangerous shadow organization launches a campaign of fear and violence in the city of Shinjuku, pushing society to the brink of chaos. As a young police officer tasked with restoring order, you become the target of an attack and have a poisonous collar attached to your neck. With the situation spiraling out of control and time running out, 5 mysterious strangers appear to aid you in your quest for the truth. Who can you trust? Will you be able to save yourself and the soul of Shinjuku from the clutches of oblivion? In a city bound by malice, you are the only hope for salvation. Okay, so the story basically takes place in Shinjuku, and basically after getting attacked, the hero that you play as, known as Ichika Hoshino, wakes up and finds herself in a poisonous collar by a group of terrorists known as Adonis. So Adonis has a goal to rebirth Japan and wants Hoshino as a sympathizer. This sets her on a journey with the Malice from the detective agency who are investigating these X-Day incidents committed by Adonis. The X-Day incidents are like punishing the bad people and trying to bring justice to the world.
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. So, what do you like about it?
What do I like about it? Well, first of all, the art is pretty nice, and I also love the music a lot. I highly recommend to check out the opening song, Silent Noise by Plastic Tree. The ending songs also get you emotional too, like Shizuka no Umi by Plastic Tree and Synchro by Plastic Tree. I am now a fan of Plastic Tree's music. And also this game explores like the gray area in society, like there isn't like a black or white in the game. For example, like most people in Adonis went through something that makes you question the justice in the world, such as like wrongful arrest or bullying. It's like what some of the executioners go through. We'll also talk more about that later, I guess.
I see. So, what is the gameplay like?
Well, let's talk about my first gameplay, I guess. So, for system, whenever you choose the correct choice for a route, like there will be a little signal in the corner that indicates that like you have made a choice that will lead to one like character like of perfection, I guess. And yeah, and depending on what choice you choose, then you get a different ending. Also the prologue is very important in choosing the route as usual. Keep in mind that during your first gameplay that you only choose between Sasazuka, Mineo, or Okasaki's route, and then Yanagi's route unlocked in the final route. I remember when I made a mistake on my first gameplay. I wanted Shiraichi's route so bad, but I couldn't. Because it seems that his route does not unlock till like I play one of the first 3 first. Also in the game there are also these trigger modes where you like click the right time to shoot. Make sure to make a save file before that so that you can go back to when you fail or anything. And also you can get the bad end as well.
Yeah, that sounds pretty exciting. So, introduce the characters for me. They all look pretty nice, don't they?
Yes, they do. So let's talk a bit about the character routes. Most of them were former police officers and part of each route is basically learning about like why they left. So the first route I finished was Mineo Enomoto, whose voice actor is Soma Saito. He is a former member of the Shinjuku Field Ops team. Mineo can be a student artist sometimes, and he's kind of like a chunibyo, so he's kind of like into Date Masamune, which explains his eye patch and his unique style. But he can be sweet, cute, and romantic. The next one is my favorite character, Kageyuki Shiraishi, voiced by Ryohei Kimura. I played him for my second round, and he is an active duty cop working as a profiler at the crime lab, while also a member of the detective agency. He's pretty eccentric and can be insensitive at times, so he easily gets on people's bad side, I guess. But later on, he kind of shows his cute side as well. Kind of reminds me of characters like Isaiah from Durarara, the mysterious and unpredictable type. Shiraishi is also a huge fan of cats too. My third route was Kei Okazaki, whose voice actor is Yuki Kaji. He's not really part of the detective agency, but he is a special police officer that is in charge of protecting or keeping an eye on Yanagi and his group. He may seem kind of like listless or something, but he's actually really strong and dependable, and he also likes weird flavor snacks. On to my fourth route. Takeru Sasasuka, voice acted by Daisuke Namikawa, is a hacker that works at the detective agency and was also once part of cyber crime division at the police headquarters. He is like those cool tsunares. Like he would tease Mineo all the time, and he also kind of tease Ichika as well. But he can be dependable at times, and he has a caring side. Oh yeah, he also loves donuts too. The final route is Aiji Yanagi, whose voice actor is Masakazu Morita. He was also a former police officer. Yanagi is mature, calm, and kind of like the leader of the group, I guess. And he also has a childhood with Ichika as well. There are also several side characters in this game that I like, and I guess some of them have another purpose in this game. I wish some of them had a route too. I think my favorite ones are like Akito Sera, who is a friend of Ichika's brother Kazuki, Yuzuru Saiki, who is Ichika's friend, and Hideaki Yoshinari, who is also an SP officer and Okazaki's junior.
Ooh, so it looks like we have a rather diverse cast in this game. So out of all these characters, who's your favorite?
I have many favorite characters such as Saiki, Yoshinari, Minakishi, Akito, Kazuki, and basically the whole cast. I like Yoshinari since he's cute and always gives off a positive vibe. There's also this character named Yasuhiro Ishiki, who is a vocalist of a band Kazuki is in. He doesn't let his past incidents stop him from chasing his dreams, and he didn't hold a grudge against the person that ruined his career. So I did kind of respect him. Kazuki, Ishiki, and Akito's friendship was the highlight in this game for me. I also love the girls in the game like Eriko, Mukai, and Kotoho Sakuragawa. They always got Ichika's back.
Then how about, which one is your favorite route?
My favorite route is Shiraishi Kageyuki for sure. His route was such a roller coaster of emotions. I cried so hard. Okay, so before I talk about this route any further, warning, there will be spoilers ahead. Maybe skip this section if you want to avoid it. I remember seeing Shiraishi's painful expression in the opening song, and I knew right away that he would be a sad route. In the beginning, he seems eccentric from top to bottom. He is too direct sometimes, which can make him inconsiderate of others' feelings. He even taked Ichika off when they first met and worked on the same X-Date incident together. However, I love the interactions between them, like how Shiraishi tried giving gifts to Ichika as an apology, and we see cute childish sides of him, such as his first time playing a gacha machine. As for this X-Date incident case for his route, it focused on two executioners whose mother worked at a school and was bullied by the students there. It's also bad that their mother attempted to murder them, but ended up killing their father instead of them, and after that following her suicide. It was pretty dark. I also feel bad for those two executioners living their entire life being labeled as the children of a murderer. I'm glad they did have someone that cared for them though, who was a friend of their mother. After the X-Day incident, I did suspect Shiraishi to be part of Adonis at first because he seemed suspicious, but later on I was thinking like, no way, he can't be. And it would be the obvious, right? Well, it turns out he was part of Adonis after all. I guess that makes sense why he never experienced much of the outside world before. He was trained at a young age for Adonis. Sometime after the X the incident passed, Shiraishi killed the son of the Prime Minister, Rei Mikuni, and disappeared. It was so painful when he kidnapped Ichika to Adona's base and wanted her to kill him so that she would be free from the collar. Of course she didn't, and it wasn't very satisfying, I guess. Like, they defeated Zero, who is like the ringleader of Adonis. And I also cried so hard when Ichika got amnesia as a side effect from the collar. And when she woke up and asked Shiraishi who he was, and he was like, "I'm your doctor." So Shiraishi nursed her for like a year till she recovered and kept her promise of holding his Christmas party. Then Shiraishi decides to turn himself in and he goes to jail as Ichika waits for him. It was such a touching round for me, and I wish they could have been together, but we respect his decision.
Wow, sounds like a lot of things happened in that route. So, you've talked about your first favorite character, Shiraishi, right? So, who's your second favorite character?
Hard choice. For me, I equally enjoyed the other routes the same. But if I had to choose, Okazaki did leave an impression on me. And again, spoiler warning ahead. So a little backstory. Okazaki was on a mission to protect the Prime Minister from an attack back then, but due to his hesitation, his co-worker died protecting him. But it seems like God was an Adonis spy as well. Okazaki has been trying to die with meaning, which can be pretty sad, to be honest. How he belittles his slave and can be reckless in his job. When he first discovered that Ichika had a connection with Adonis, I didn't expect his sudden change in behavior. He was so cold and even pointed a gun at her. Later on, he felt Ichika worth dying to protect, seeing how she's going to face anything in order to solve the XD cases. And as the route progresses, I am glad he wants to lift Ichika and be by her side. The good ending caught me by surprise. I almost thought I landed on a bad ending. The route was pretty emotional and cute overall. I love the cute scenes, like when Okazaki said one time he left his door open and his robot vacuum cleaner ran away. Sadly, that vacuum cleaner never returned.
So, I guess you've talked about the good endings for a couple characters. So what about the bad ones? Which one hit you the hardest?
I guess the bad ending for Shiraishi was pretty dark, where Ichika joins Adonis and kills the people around her, and Shiraishi just crying silently, unable to protect her.
After playing this game, playing through the entire game, would you recommend this game to someone, and why would you recommend it?
Yes, I highly recommend this game to anyone who enjoys the darker themed mystery Otome game. The OST, music, storyline, and voice acting met my expectations. Especially when parts get emotional, the voice actors really communicate the feelings of pain and sorrow from the characters very well. Although be warned about certain topics in this game like violence, guns, and self-harm kind of thing. As for my overall experience, I definitely enjoyed some of the stories for each executioner since it touched some real-life topics. I also like how the exit incidents or the executioners usually connect back with our main characters. The game isn't just a romance game, there's a plot of Adonis and the exit cases going around. I won't spoil who Zero or the leader of Adonis is, but they do have many executioners that commit the crimes. At first I was suspecting like Ichika's brother, Kazuki, and his friends, since they were like, kind of acting sketchy, like they're hiding something. Well, it was half correct though. In the end, I was quite surprised who Zero was. Though, Color X Malice also has a fan disc called Color X Malice Unlimited, so maybe I'll do a video on that later. Well, that's a wrap up to the Color X Malice segment. Moving on to the Otome News Corner. So first off, I'm sure some of you guys are already playing it probably. Tears of Demis is finally out, yay! Are you playing the game, Neru?
Yep, I've been following the game since its closed beta testing session, and now I'm really into it. Granted, we don't have all the perks that the closed beta session had, but it's still really fun, isn't it?
Yep. I was also part of the closed beta session. And I think they released some new chapters too, right?
They released the 5th episode, and then they cut it into 3 parts since I guess it's very long.
So how far did you reach, Nadu?
Let's see. It's been a couple days since the game came out, and I'm on the 4th episode now. I'm just playing a bit too much, aren't I?
Oh, that's fast. I'm still on like the 2nd chapter or so. Next up, Buzz of Bullets has been released on July 30th for Nintendo Switch and Steam. I'm definitely excited to play this one soon. I heard it was similar to Clark's Malice. Upcoming Nintendo Switch titles are Olympia Soirée, which is slated to release on September, Dairoku Agents of Sakuratani, which will release on December, and Barricade, which will come February 2022. Recently, we got news on Cupid Parasite also joined the Nintendo Switch lineup for this fall release. Access Games also announced 4 new Otome game titles: Lover 10, Paradigm Paradox, Kimi wa Yukima ni Koinegau, and finally, Piofiore Episodio 1926 is coming. I'm so excited for it. I've been waiting so long for this announcement. It's nice seeing so many Otome games getting localized.
So, do you plan on playing any of them?
Oh yeah, I definitely plan to play Bustafellas, Olympia Soirée, Dairoku Ayakashimori, and probably check out most of them. I really wanted to show you this interesting cafe that has Otome cage ice cream in this Otome garden cafe in Japan.
That's some interesting looking ice cream. Ice cream behind bars.
Seems they're being creative. And they also sell a lot of cool merchandises featuring the Otome April Fool's event where I guess 4 Otome games were together in newly drawn illustration. They also had this short story that was released for a day or two during April Fool's, and it was really funny with Orlock and Toma. If any of you guys read it. I guess that's a wrap up for this video. Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed. Please hit that like and subscribe button below, and tell us if you like Color X Malice yourself, or maybe what was your favorite route. Bye!
Bye guys! Tune in next week for our next episode, Pyeon.